Ted Cruz announced what we already knew. He's going to run for president. He went to Liberty University, which is a clown institution, to make his announcement. Let's watch.
God's blessing has been on America from the very beginning of this nation. And I believe God isn't done with America yet. I believe in you. I believe in the power of millions of courageous conservatives rising up to reignite the promise of America. And that is why today I am announcing that I'm running for President of the United States. It is a time for truth. It is a time for liberty. It is a time to reclaim the Constitution of the United States.
I agree, which is why nobody should vote for you. Isn't it funny how these guys, they always bring up the Constitution, but if you were to press them on it and be like, Ted, Fourth Amendment, go. Eighth Amendment, go. I support the Constitution and we should keep Guantanamo Bay open. Oh, wait, what? That contradicts itself? Yes, Ted. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. I support the Constitution, but I haven't said anything about Obama doing drone strikes and bombing in Syria right now, which would be unconstitutional. War has to be approved through Congress. It hasn't been, yet somehow you're fucking silent. You attack Obama for everything, and the one area where you actually should be attacking him, mum's the word. Shh, crickets, I don't hear anything. You're going to talk about the Constitution? And also, you're doing all this religious theocracy bullshit. You're at Liberty University. God is not done with this country. God founded this country. God. I love the Constitution. Have I mentioned that? The Constitution explicitly made this country secular. The Constitution stands for the opposite of everything you stand for. I mean, the contradictions when Ted Cruz talks, it's endless. It just goes on and on. And then I also love Orwell 101. It's time for the truth. It's time for liberty. Okay, I agree. Let's give liberty to gay people and give them equal rights so they can get married to each other. Oh, you're not in favor of that? I thought you wanted liberty. I thought that's what you wanted. Liberty, but only for the people you pick, right? Not for the people that you don't like. Time for truth. The idea that Ted Cruz would utter truth, comical, absolutely comical. And when you go through the list of what Ted Cruz believes in, you understand that this party, not only has it, not gotten more moderate, it's actually become more extreme. Remember after 2012 when the Republicans got their asses handed to them and Mitt Romney lost and the Democrats did well, the Republicans were like, okay, let's go back to the drawing board here and figure out what we have to do. And they released an autopsy report which said, basically, hey, we need to not be so outright in our opposition against women and minorities and gay people and all this stuff. Now, they didn't mention anything about policy, but they were saying, hey, we need to soften our rhetoric, essentially. Well, Ted Cruz is the polar opposite. I mean, Ted Cruz, as some of the articles pointed out on this, he's the equivalent of throwing the reddest of the red meat to the base. I mean, some of the things he said, Obamacare is net neutrality for the internet. I'm not even sure what that means, but I know it's a lie. I think what he's trying to say is, hey, Obamacare was like government regulating and taking over the healthcare industry, even though it's not that. It's exactly the opposite of that because the private sector is still intact. And that's what the new net neutrality rules are doing to the internet. It's the government taking over the internet. But that's also not true because, remember, the net neutrality rules from the FCC keep everything exactly like it is right now. So already, right off the bat, with his beliefs lie. Democrats are trying to repeal the First Amendment. That's something he said repeatedly. In fact, he's almost said that verbatim. Like, he doesn't try to nuance it with his bullshit. He just outright lies and does so in the most brazen fashion. Democrats are trying to repeal the First Amendment. Democrats are trying to repeal the First Amendment. And you know what he's alluding to there? The fact that some Democrats have proposed the idea of bringing back some campaign finance laws, which makes it so that money is not the same thing as free speech, and makes it so that we can limit the legal bribery and corruption in our system. He phrases that as if like the government is going to ban you from saying certain words. No, they're not coming to take away your free speech rights or your freedom of assembly, freedom of religion, freedom of protest. No, they're talking about let's bring the country back to what it's supposed to be and make it so that billionaires can't just buy the entire goddamn election. But he lies about that and twists it because this is what Ted Cruz does. He said, this is one of my favorites here, I didn't shut down the government. The Democrats did. Okay, this lie right here makes me think he may be a sociopath, Ted Cruz. Because it's the most unbelievable lie. He made this gigantic filibuster, this big stink about trying to repeal Obamacare, and when the Republicans couldn't because they didn't have the numbers and because Obama would have vetoed it, he just shut down the government because he couldn't get his way. Remember, he was reading green eggs and ham on the floor. It was so obvious. Everybody knows. Everybody in the country knows. Even the conservative outlets knew that he's the one that shut down the government. But then he comes out like 2 weeks later. He's like, yeah, I'm totally against this Harry Reid, President Obama shutdown. Let me tell you. You shut it down. It was you. We saw you. All of us saw you. You're on videotape, dipshit. Incredible liar. And then he also said Republicans aren't the party of the rich. I'd need 2 hours to break down all the bullshit in that. He doesn't believe in climate change. Wouldn't it be great to have a president who doesn't believe in climate change? That would be fantastic. I mean, it's not like we're, at basically in the last time window where we can do something to try to prevent the worst case scenario. Imagine, oh my God, if Ted Cruz were to get in office. Oh, we'd be so fucked. Oh, we'd be so fucked. And then, of course, I'm saving the best for last year. This guy is such a fringe lunatic. He believes in the Agenda 21, Alex Jones conspiracy theories. He believes that there's the NWO, the Illuminati, and they're working together, and they're going to take over the sovereignty of America, and the UN is going to take over, and then they're going to ban cars, and they're going to ban golf courses. They're going to ban golf courses. He said George Soros is working with the UN to try to end up banning golf courses. An unbelievable wingnut this guy is. But my absolute favorite is Jesse Helms. Remember, it wasn't that long ago Ted Cruz was praising Jesse Helms. Jesse Helms opposed the Civil Rights Act. He supported apartheid. Jesse Helms was one of the loudest in favor of bans on interracial marriages. And Ted Cruz was damn near blowing his corpse when he was talking about him probably a few months ago now. I remember we covered this story on the show. This guy is going to run for president. Now, again, we already knew he was going to run for president. But I'm just reminding you how extreme and how insane he really is. And we've discussed this before, but when you talk about some people on the right, I really think they're stupid, right? So, like, Rick Santorum is a good example of somebody who's just dumb. Like, he's just dumb. He's just not that bright. He really is as religious as he's, putting out there. Jim Inhofe is another guy who, he is taking money from the fossil fuel industry, which is one of the main reasons why he pushes, against climate change and calls it a hoax and all that stuff. But he is also, I think he genuinely believes it. I think he's just a dumbass. I really do. But a guy like Ted Cruz, it's more nefarious. Because Ted Cruz, there's a good chance that Ted Cruz, it's not that he's just dumb. There's many aspects of him, of course, that are just dumb, but he also knows more than he's letting on, and he's lying to you. And he's lying to you for political reasons. He's lying to you to dupe over his base. He's saying things that he knows are bullshit and are spun and misrepresented, like the Democrats are trying to repeal the First Amendment nonsense. So in many ways, he's more dangerous. So like I said right before I came on air here on Twitter, Ted Cruz running for president is bad for the country. But one thing it's good for? My ratings. So welcome to your new job, Ted Cruz. My personal punching bag. Buckle up.